Hello and welcome to the New Earth Ascending Consciousness. Myself is my name is Robin Nicole, and Bonnie Bird, she's over here on the other side of me, and she is a co-host for the New Earth AC, and we're both Unity hosts, which means that we're admins basically in the group. And there are two more Unity hosts at the moment. We have David Starr and Jessie May, and we're here today to introduce somebody that's going to be going on and doing a unity circle in our group. And we just want to take a second before we get started just to let you know what our group is all about and what we do, what these unity circles are all about. So Bonnie, would you like to take the floor and just give a little short synopsis as to what we're doing in this group?
We're inviting everybody to share their hearts and their tools and whatever they do that helps them through the ascension energies. And just invite people to come in and talk to other like minded people and help them understand that they're not in this alone, that we're here, and reaching out to the masses just to give everyone a place to be relaxed and be themselves. Um, you don't have to be certified in anything. All you have to do is want to share your heart and want to be able to uh, just share your tools and tips that you've learned along the way that's helped you. And then you can sort of like, if you want to be a teacher, sort of network over to your page. You sort of get your name out there and stuff.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much what we're doing. We're just sharing knowledge.
Yeah, and so every time we do one of these unity circles and we have a new host, we always bring on, we always have like a preliminary interview so that everybody, all the members and everybody out there can get a chance um, to meet the person that's doing the host. Plus, we also share this out to a whole bunch of different other places, not just in our group. And so if anybody's watching this and they're not in our group yet, do take a chance, take a second to come over and check us out. It's called New Earth Ascending Consciousness. And we are really excited. We've grown a lot since August when we decided to take on this new kind of prototype. It's a new way of working through the social media platforms. And if you're really interested and you want to come to a group that's a lot more interactive, where it's not just like putting a post up and then leaving. We actually do a lot of interactive things, and we do these unity circles that are done in a Zoom room type setting, and everybody can come, everybody can participate. And what we've noticed since we started doing this is we've noticed that people are saying to us that they feel like they're finding their tribe, they're meeting their community. They feel like it's more than just like going on to social media and watching something and doing something. They feel like, wow, I love this because I can interact with each other. I can talk to like everybody that comes into the Zoom room. We all say hi to each other. We're all kind of getting to know each other, and it's like we got family. And they come in and one person, you'll see someone that you saw at the last one. You're like, hey, how you doing? How did you work through your thing? Because we're all working through stuff, and it's becoming like that. And in our world, the way that we have it, like the world is going kind of weird, and especially with the whole thing that's been happening in our world, where we've been kind of put in, all of us have been put kind of like in our houses, and we're not really going out and doing socializing and stuff like that. It's really nice to have a place where you can go and you can actually talk to people and see them and look them in the eye. And okay, you can't touch them, but it is starting to be something really interesting. So that's what we're providing here in the New Earth AC. And so we just wanted to kind of like take a second before we brought our person on today, just to let you know what it is that's happening. So Bonnie, would you like to introduce our guest since you know her very well?
Yeah, this is Deni Dreazen. I've known her for many years. We went to Sweeha together to get our wellness practitioner certifications and hypnotherapy and life coaching and many, many other things. And she's a beautiful, helps people learn how to read tarot. And she's just an amazing woman, amazing healer. And with no further ado, I want to bring her on so she can tell us more.
Hi, Deni.
Hello. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for saying such nice things. Yeah, we were study buddies.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So, want me to start talking? Or you got a question?
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, you know.
Okay. I've done a couple of Robin's shows. So I'm a tarot reader who uses tarot. Oh, I'm stumbling all over myself. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're good. Because I'm looking at your
I got my first deck when I was 12. I really started studying not until my 20s. That makes me almost 60 years of reading.
Mhm.
And everybody starts somewhere, but I'm a very different reader today than I was even 5-6 months ago. My goal, what I realize is what a beautiful visual tool for intuition that is available. Tarot and Oracle. I started with tarot, so I'm going to kind of stay on that, but you can always put Oracle into it, and I do use Oracle cards as well when I read. It's as physical human beings, we have 5 senses. The cards let even skeptics, in many ways, look at something that they can see as tangible with those 5 senses, but still tap into the energies of what we know is way out there, way beyond 5 senses, way beyond any senses. And they're a perfect vehicle for even somebody who wants to dabble or somebody who wants to really, really, really connect. And in the last months, I've been teaching classes and working with people one-on-one. And what I realize is the hardest person to read for is yourself, because our ego gets in the way. You know, when we're tapping into the others, to the non-physical forces, there's no ego. It's hard to put it aside, and especially when it's our own, when it's somebody we don't know. You know, our ego isn't involved. So that's been, I'm putting together a class on that, an actual class on that, which I will be, but that will probably be the topic for our circle, is actually working with tarot for self readings.
Yeah.
And
it's really hard to, when you're doing a self, even when you're using your pendulum.
Yeah.
Because your energy wants it to be a way. And so your energy will make the pendulum go whatever way you want it wants to go. So you have to kind of breathe and connect to the earth, connect to the mother, and then connect to the father, and then just let go of what your opinion of what it should be, and then try to do it. It's not easy.
Yeah, it isn't. But also, I've been working on my mediumship, and I'm recently involved in a class where we're combining tarot and mediumship, because often when I'm reading for somebody, something will come through, and what I'm learning is how to read that energy through the tarot. Yeah. And that's been mind-blowing. That's just been amazing, just amazing. But that's how I get all my knowledge, through the cards. That's where my downloads come from. And the nice thing is they've come through subtly over the years. Now they're coming through with a 2x4, but they did come through rather subtly.
You have that in common with Robin, because even though she channels without the cards, but she channels every morning with the cards. So that's something you have in common.
I found that I just love, well, I don't do tarot, but I do Oracle. I have a lot of Oracle cards. Yeah, so it's the same kind of thing. And I've been in love with them for years, and I've been doing them since like the 90s. I had special decks and everything, and I've been collecting more and more throughout the years. And I just would just draw them every day and not really know what to do. And then like back in 2000, I think it was 2017 or 18 or sometime around there. I kept getting this one card that said write. I was like, what the hell do you want me to write? I don't want to write. And I was like, I was never a good person to write in a journal or anything like that. I was never really good about that. And so like I would start it, and then like after a couple of days I was like, well, this is boring to just write about like what happened today and da 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 da, and like I didn't really want to write that. And so then when I kept picking this one card that said write, and so I said, okay, I'll write. What do you want me to write about? And then I just got this idea. Why don't you pick a card out of each of your favorite decks every day and then write about them? And so I started doing that. And then after about a month or two, I realized, oh my God, I'm having a conversation here.
Channeling.
And I'm actually like I'm actually talking to my guides, and I'm actually having a conversation. And there was some things coming through, and I was getting direction and all this kind of stuff. And so ever since then, that's what I do. But I noticed that now that I've been channeling, like not with, like I used to only be able to do it with the cards. And, in the last like 8 or 9 months or so, I've been starting to like channeling without the cards. And I've noticed I don't do the cards as much, but I still like to do the cards because it's fun. I like to pull the cards, even though I don't have to channel.
Yeah.
The teacher I'm working with, oh, I'm sorry. The teacher
I like because what it does is I find that if something is coming through, the card will enhance it with even a deeper going deeper with it. So yeah, we do that. You and I have something in common.
Most definitely. I think the fact that, again, we're using our physical sense, we're touching, we're looking at them, they have meaning to us, is a way to kind of unlock or open up that door to allow in the non-physical tools that we have. I always said they were like a dictionary to what I was picking up from whoever I was reading for. I always felt like, and the cards are so encoded with clues that, it took me years to understand what I was looking at. And it changes constantly. And I learn from other people constantly, other people that we read together or we read for each other or what have you. And I think that's the beauty of it, because it's kind of like metaphoric for our lives.
Yeah, because the same card could come out in the deck and it could mean something different each time. Even though like there is like a booklet and you can go and you can read the booklet and everything, it's kind of the general what the card means. But like sometimes you have to feel the energy around you and what's going on around you. And it makes the card even mean something. And sometimes you see something in the card that you never saw the last time. Like there could be a little ladybug inside the card or something.
Yeah.
I never saw a ladybug before. And ladybugs are lucky, or something like that.
Well, another thing too is like the same thing as when you write. You're working with your angels and you're working out an energy language. So you're creating this language to talk to your guides and your angels, and you do the same thing with the cards. You're just learning how to communicate with your higher self and your guides and angels. So I just feel like all of those tools are just amazing, and being in tune with your senses and the way you feel about things also helps you do that in the process.
Indeed. So when I do teach tarot, we do learn the meanings of the cards, and we have cheat sheets with little word keys and stuff like that on them. However, I always encourage anybody who's working with the tarot is, that's nice. Now you know that, and maybe one of those words will pop out at you when you're getting what you're getting, but use your intuition. And so the way I teach is to really develop the intuition muscle.
And how do you do that? Do you have them not look at the description at first, let them feel what's in the card and what they think they're getting off of it before they look at the description when they're first getting started?
Especially like the first lesson, we'll probably be looking at things, and I will just ask for quick, what comes to mind, whatever you see. There's no right or wrong. Mm-hmm. And we play tarot games. Like I was not feeling very well for quite a while a few months ago, and I had a friend, and she was kind of just trying to keep my spirits up, and she would pull a card every morning and encourage me to pull a card every morning. And then we'd have to look at the card and tell each other why we were arrested. Having nothing to do with the meaning of the card. She pulled an Ace of Swords, which is the sword, the hand coming out, holding up the sword. And she pulled the Ace of Swords and told a whole story about getting arrested at one of those restaurants where they bring the meat around on the sword.
That sounds like so much fun.
So we do tarot exercises, and it's really, I have a friend who is an extremely talented psychic, and she reads, and she uses some oracle cards, but mainly she, that like you, she doesn't, people like them, she likes them, but she wanted to learn tarot. And so I've been working with her, and she called me and she said, okay, so I had my lady pull a card, and I read it for her, and it was absolutely right on. And then I went back to the booklet, and it was nothing like what I said. And I said, but it was right on for her. You were picking up what she needed to hear. And when she told me what she read in the card, it was absolutely appropriate. Absolutely. But it wasn't in the booklet saying this means this, 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 and this. So I really want to get people out of that. I want people to be familiar with it, but it's more important that they look at what's on that card, understand that, the 4 elements are very important, and just understand the connections, because the meanings will come. The meanings will come. And that's, and that's many, many, many years of learning. And I'm not saying that somebody who reads the cards, I have a very dear friend who is an excellent, excellent reader, but she reads them pretty much what she learned, by the book or books that she learned. And, so some.
Yeah, like when I first started using them, I would go to the book to see what they meant when I was learning how to, use them. And then when I started doing the journal thing, I would start writing the meanings, and then all of a sudden I would go, oh, okay. I would kind of go off from it and start like writing what I felt like, what it was trying to say, with all the cards like next to each other.
Yeah. I mean, as a 12-year-old, I got a deck of cards, and I held them, and I played with them, and I would put them out in front of me, and I would make up stories about the people in the cards. I'd make up fairy tales, because of, the Rider-Waite deck is so old-fashioned looking. And I'd make up stories about princes and princesses, and they were going to markets, and they were doing this and that. I just made up those stories, but that's followed me. There will be times that a card will fall, and I'll remember, I'll get a mental picture of say a marketplace or something like that. Something in the card remind me, and I'll ask the person I'm reading for, and they'll go, oh yeah, la, 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 la. Sometimes I'll see who's coming through. I had was reading for some girl, and I said, there's a man, and one of the kings showed up, and I said, he's showing me playing cards. And she said, oh, that's my Grandpa Joel. So I didn't know who it was, and it was just pretty interesting that, you know, I've had a lot of medium friends who will say to me, oh, no, you can't do both. But I'm saying you can. There's no reason how you get messages from spirit. We just give it the words. Messages are just coming through. So, you know, I hate hearing don'ts because anything's possible.
Absolutely. And do you want to, you know, with all the things, people trying to relax and you know, over here in the U.S., you know, we have people that are a little bit unnerved by the elections and stuff like that. Do you want to do a collective card reading and ask Spirit to give you some wisdom to help smooth the message, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Navigating through this.
Yeah.
Well, we get an awful lot of bad news just right in front of our face, and it's really easy to forget how much really good stuff is going on. So I'm just going to center myself and call in Archangel Michael to cut the cards of doubt and fear, dissonance, and to protect us. We call in Archangel Sandalphon, who delivers our prayers. And Archangel Jeremiah in his purple gowns, enhancing our openness to what comes through. We ask you that you reveal to us that which we need to know, and to keep from us that which we do not need to know. We ask for some loving guidance as we navigate difficult times. We ask what you can tell us to uplift ourselves so that we in turn can uplift others. Thank you. And so it is. Okay.
We almost want to sleep on you, Deni.
What?
It's getting late for me. I started yawning. I apologize.
I had an effect on you. Okay, I'm using, this is a Rider-Waite tarot deck. It's one of the originals. This deck must be about 30 years old. I used it in I bought it for a class, and the teacher said, write along the edges your keywords. And so you can see they're blurry, but you can still see some of my writing on them. And this is an important deck, and I don't use it often, but it seemed to call out for this particular. I have many decks. So okie dokie. I guess they want us to know some stuff. Number one, here we have the Eight of Swords. If you're familiar with tarot, swords are air. So there's a lot of element of air in working with swords. Your air signs, personality-wise, if you follow that. But if you notice, our lady, it looks like she's bound up and in jail, but if she moved forward, she'd be out of that jail. And those ties on her are very loose. She could wiggle out of them and take that blindfold off. So this is what's been happening. We're feeling just tied in, and we don't realize that we can break the bonds, that we can walk away from this. But if we can't do it in a physical sense because we're like you, locked in, or just like where we are, it's difficult. There's that. You have to find those things. You have to take that blindfold off and look around and look for those good things, because you're so used to just listening to all this horrible stuff that's going on. It's like background noise to us now, all the horrible news. It really is. And so people have got to lighten up. People have got to let go. It looks at the bottom of the card, if you look at the bottom of the card here, it looks like there's been maybe a rainstorm or something. There's puddle and stuff like that. So the storm is over. The storm is over. You can see she's not far from home. She's a little out of sight, but the storm is over.
But she looks like, to me, like she looks like the storm is over, but she's locking herself up. Like she's doing it. Like
she doesn't recognize that she can move away. She hasn't recognized that those ties on her are she's able to get out of them, and we're going to have to look at things differently too. And we're going to have to remember that just as certain people felt a certain way, and in their heart that was their truth, certain other people felt another way. And somebody's got to take the unpopular role and show the contrast. So you got to bless them for doing that and let it go. Yeah. But anyway, that's the point. There's going to have to be some changes. We're going to have to walk away from this. We're going to have to just turn our back on that kind of thing.
And like stop looking for, like, I know on my phone, it comes up every day. They tell you how many people, how many deaths, and how many new cases. There's never anything about, like, they never tell you.
No, and there's so much more. There's so much more going on that's so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's our little guy. Okay. This guy's all about messages and news, but notice he's off in the clouds. He's very deliberate, and news is not going to come quickly. It's simply not. It's coming, and there's news of change. If you can see, he's standing in a lovely little meadow. There's flowers. There's mountains in the background. There's yellow, a yellow optimistic sky behind him, trees. And, he's just kind of looking forward, and he's actually bringing news. But he's moving on his own speed. He's not in a huge hurry to do it. So that's what we're looking at. And then again, things are going to speed up. This is a fire sign night. Things are going to speed up, and wands are always about taking from enterprise to manifestation. So there's going to be a lot of new manifestations. And again, it's not cloudy or stormy behind him. I see this as moving forward. It's going to take a lot of work, and we're going to have to keep things in control. That horse could get away from him. So that's kind of a challenge. That's going to be a challenge to rein it in and make sure that whatever's coming forward, whatever we're bringing forward is for the highest good. It's easy to get lost in the shuffle.
What I'm hearing from what you've just shown me is that if you can get past all of this like locking yourself up feeling, and you can get past that and all the things that are happening and looking at that, and if you shift your thought patterns about things, that it looks to me like we're going to be able to manifest a whole new thing in our world if we decide to shift that and decide to unlock ourselves.
You know, it's the human element. We physical humans make it so hard on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you know, you can read this many ways. Every reader is going to read something a little different. You know, you looked at it and you saw this, and I'm sure Bonnie saw something else, and all of that. But I know that when I'm reading, that what's coming through is what they want me to know, and to tell you. So in my group on Friday, we did a reading, and it was different cards, but this message was not particularly different. It was a little more personal on outcome, so I'm not going to share it. But it wasn't. It still was. There's going to be change. There's going to be chaos in the middle, and it's been awful. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
It's really interesting in the way that you look at the tarot cards, because it makes them not be so scary anymore. It makes them be for the people who are more visual and are more think that they can do the oracle a little easier. You make us look at the tarot and go, maybe I can do that. You know, it's not as hard as you think.
When we were doing that, I was like, oh, maybe I do. Now that she's pointing out those pictures and everything, like I don't have to think about what the book means or anything like that. Because I don't even own a tarot deck, and the ones that I did own, I gave away because I think it's so difficult to try to figure out what that all meant. But you make it so easy.
Yeah. This is the one I recommend. This is the Universal Rider deck. And it's a little, here's our Ace of Cups. It's a little less dark. It's the Universal deck. It looks like that on the back. It's got stars on the back. And it's just a little less, I don't know, a little less dark.
Just a little brighter.
It's brighter, softer edges. And so if you get the deck, that would be the one. If you can learn on a rider deck, you can read any deck. You can.
Yeah.
And
so, I mean, even making the little messages along the side, that's you don't need the book because you've got stuff to spark your memory. And then going with the visual, you just made it sound really easy to me because I'm more of an oracle deck person. And I thought, that don't look so hard, you know.
The difference is that tarot is a system. So when you lay the cards out, like I did a past, present, future, loose, because I also look at it, what your angels want you to know, what are your successes and what are your challenges. So I kind of tie that in together. But there are many, many spreads, and when you do a spread, that shows what your intent is. The story's going to come up based on the placement of the cards, as opposed to reading an oracle card and getting what you're getting from it and what have you. So there's different spreads. And the more I work with different spreads, the more comes through, because you're fine-tuning it. You're tuning into that little frequency, that little radio frequency. So, it's all energy anyway. It's just we give it, we're human. We have to give it words. We have to give it names, but it's all energy.
Absolutely.
And how you interpret it,
Yeah, That's really cool.
I've been, working at fairs and stuff like that. And I've had somebody sit with me and I've done a reading and they were very happy and they went away and I look over and they're at somebody else's chair,
Yeah.
Um,
But
because
see, it's just sometimes you want to find everybody has different filters. And sometimes
right,
you want to hear the way somebody else wants to say it. You know what I mean? Through their filters.
you're going to get more information because somebody's going to say exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to get across is you can too. You can do this too. You may not be able to read someone or, but you could if you worked at it. You could if you allowed it in. You could we all could. That's why, we're here. But a lot of people just kind of never get that. And that's okay. That's their gig. But
Yeah.
I'd rather live in our world. I really would.
Yeah.
It's just so, what else do you want to know?
I think you pretty much wrapped everything up for us.
Yeah.
You put a little bow on it. Yeah, this has been an amazing talk, and I'm really excited about seeing what you do in the circle. And do you have anything you want to add? Do you want to tell people where they can find you or anything else you want to add?
I will tell you that right now I'm on you can find me on my Facebook page, Deni Dreazen Holistic Wellness. And I'm still working on the website, Mom.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
Okay.
I just put it up around, I just at the bottom of the feed.
Oh, the
So
study group on Friday. Also,
Yeah.
I will be putting out more groups and then some classes. I will be doing some classes in a series, like the 4-week class with the 4 suits and that sort of thing. So I will be teaching some of the meetings, but in my own inimitable way. So
Pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to the circle. I'm very excited about that. And I'm meeting everybody. And thank you both. You guys have been great. And I love when we talk and we just hang out and stuff. So
You're so welcome. It was a blessing having you here today.
thank you.
So I just
Thank
want to
you.
say before we leave that Deni is going to be hosting an intuitive tarot for self-guidance unity circle. And it's going to be on Thursday, December 22nd, in one of our Unity Circle Zoom rooms. And so if you think that you might be interested in this, the week before, I think it's like the Sunday before her Unity Circle, I'll be putting up in the announcement section of the group, it's of the New Earth Ascending Consciousness group. If you go up to the announcement section part, it's always up at the top and it's kind of pinned to the top of the page. And you go into the announcements, there'll be a list in there of all of the Unity Circles that are happening that week so that you can go in and you can get the link because the link will be there for you and everything. So you can go into there and it's just easier that we put everything up there. So if you are looking to go to this Unity Circle, that's where you're going to go to find it. And
if you miss it, then it's all going to be on the replay on the YouTube page, on the New Earth Ascending Consciousness YouTube page.
Yeah, so all of our Unity Circles and all of our shows and everything that we do in that group always gets put up in the New Earth AC YouTube page. And if you need to find a link to that, all you do is go back up to the announcement section that I told you about in the Facebook page, and there's a whole post that has the link to go find the YouTube page. So
and if anyone's interested in doing a Unity Circle, also go to the email, and that's at, what is it? New Earth
AC1111 at gmail.com. and just let us know. And if you can't remember the email, it's in the same place. Everything's up in that announcement section on how to contact us, how to get everything through. And we're always looking for new hosts, new people that would like to come up and bring in their skills, their gifts, their expertise to help with the ascension. That's what we're doing here. We're all banding together, all of us, as a group. And as we grow, we're just going to keep helping each other little by little by little. It's like, and we're going to be putting all kinds of tools into our toolbox so that we're going to be able to, we're all going to be able to vibrate so much higher and higher. We're just going to lift each other up one second at, like one unity circle at a time, and we're just going to keep doing it. And so we want everybody to be able to participate in these. So we've made it so that these are all the unity circles are basically all given to you from the heart, from the person that's hosting it, without any expectations. But if you would like to give them something for it, there's also the ability for you to give something from your heart back to them. We always make sure that every unity host, circle host, always has their, we have their little PayPal button for you, just so you can give back if you want to. So that's what we do here at the New Earth.
Yeah, amazing. So everybody, have a good day. And it was really happy. It was a good experience with you, Deni. And we know we're going to have many more in the future.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Oh, for sure. Love you guys.
Love you too.
See you again. Bye-bye.